I must get asked on at least a weekly basis on which bike computer I have. So it'll be, which Garmin is that, what bike computer do you use, which one do you recommend, what do you think of it? So today's video is going to be dedicated to the Garmin. This is the Garmin Edge 1000 and I've had it now for about 2.5 years, maybe 3 years coming up. So I just wanted to kind of give you a review after using it for so long, kind of what it's good for, what it's bad for, and would I recommend you buying one. So that is what today's video is all about. So I guess the first question to look at is the cost. This cost me, I bought it from Cycle Republic and it was about £350 and it was in a bundle, so you got like a cadence sensor and stuff with it. But when I've looked today, they're about, it says £499 on the Garmin website, so I'm sure you'll be able to get it cheaper than that, but that's the RRP is £499, so it is a pricey device. I'm not going to pretend it's not expensive, it is expensive. But the main reason that I bought it was for the maps, because when I moved to Manchester, I didn't really know where I was going and I wanted something really reliable that I could plan routes and be able to get around. So that was the main reason that I bought it, and the Garmin Edge has a 3-inch colour touchscreen, which I just really liked. It was almost like having the nearest thing to a phone on my bike without it actually being a phone. So I chose that and absolutely loved it. I think the routes on it, I still don't think there's a better bike computer on the market that has a better route map. So the competitors such as like Wahoo, they're like black and white, but I love that this is colour. So when you go past like a big lake, you can see it's a big blue splodge, so you know it's a lake. So I really like that about it. I think that's a massive, massive plus on this. The one thing that's not great with maps is that if you are trying to kind of just go somewhere, say if I went out on a route and I was like, oh, where's the nearest, I don't know, petrol station? You can actually search that, but I don't think the route is very good at taking you there, if that makes sense. So for example, I'm going to give you a real world example. I tried to put a postcode in there once to try and go to my friends, and it just took me on a really weird way, and I had turned off that I didn't want to go on like cycle paths. I'd rather go on main roads because you can choose that preference, and it still just took me a weird way, and I was like, this is weird. Whereas I think if you are going to get this, plan your routes before on either Ride with GPS or Strava, because when you do that and it's a GPX file, it just works perfectly, that I found anyway, and I really, really, really like it for that. So I guess the competitor with Wahoo, that's what that has one up on the Garmin, is that you can just do it on your phone, create a route, and then send it straight to your Wahoo. And I really wish that you could do that with the Edge 1000, but you can't have everything. So that's the kind of the maps positive and maps negative. So I'd never use kind of the go-to search on this. I just use my phone. So that is that. Another good function it has for maps is you can just put any kind of distance of route that you want in. So say you wanted to do 120k, it would just plot 3 separate routes from where you are, which I think is really, really handy. It shows you like the elevation profile, so you can just choose. So if you go in somewhere new and you want to do a route, I think that's a really, really good option on that. So I do like that. Let's come on to battery life, because I want to try and talk about whether it's going to be good for long distance riding. And the battery life on the Garmin website says 15 hours. However, that is going to be affected massively if you're going to be on the route screen, on the map screen constantly, because it's colour and it's a lot of light. And so I found that when you're on that screen, it just drains the battery so fast. I think if I'm on a route and I'm following a route, it probably lasts around 8 hours, I would say. I mean, there are things that you can do to kind of improve the battery life, such as turning off Bluetooth, turning off the backlight. What else can you do? That's about it really. That's all I know to do anyway to save the battery. So when I do go out on longer rides, I have to take a battery pack or use a dynamo hub, so to charge it as I'm going. So unless it's a 4-hour ride, I would always take a battery pack with it. So that's one thing if that's what you're considering, you want to do longer rides and you don't want to take a battery pack, then this is probably only going to last around 8 hours. I think the Wahoo says it lasts 16, and I think that probably would be truer, that it would last 16 because it's not got a colour screen. So I guess that's what you've got to weigh up. Do you want the bright colour screen and the nice pretty coloured like map, or do you want longer battery life? Because that is the compromise that you're going to have to make. It also has a live track function on it, which I think is really good for auto. I've not used it yet and I'm going to try it out. But you basically send a link to, I don't really know how it works, but you can do live track because I've watched somebody else's. So they can like live track you where you are. So if you're going on like an overnight ride or whatever, and your friends and family are worried about you, they can just like click on I think it's on through Strava Beacon. I think you can do it through there, so you have to be premium to do it. But they can kind of see where you are to see if you're safe, see if you're moving, which is quite a good feature to have. And I think the Wahoo has got that one as well. I know this is not a direct comparison, but I'm just trying to give you an idea of, you know, the differences between the two, because I think the Wahoo is about $250, so it's like half the price of this. So yes, what else is to mention? Like some of the quirks. So I've mentioned the things that I do like about it. I like the touchscreen. I like that it's bright. I like that the maps are good. Battery's not so great. And the other couple of quirks it has is that it says that you can use it in rain and that the touchscreen works and it's meant to work with gloves, but in winter, like it's not good. It's not great to be using touchscreen if you've got gloves on. You can kind of swipe the screen. If you keep doing it 2 or 3 times, it does eventually move. And also, if it is raining directly onto the Garmin screen, sometimes the screen will just lock, which can be quite frustrating. I was doing a PB up Mount Taylor, which is like, it took me 4 hours total, and it rained on the way up and it just locked, so I couldn't get on the screen to see like how far was left, how many watts I was doing, so it was a bit of a pain, to be honest. Oh, also talking about watts, yes, obviously it does work with a power meter and you can get the data up, but I think that sometimes will affect the battery. So because I've always got a power meter on my bike, that will reduce the power, reduce the battery life on it. So if you've not got a power meter, then it probably will last a little bit longer for you. Overall, I'm really happy with it. I really like it, and I know it does get like some bad reviews from people about its longevity, but I will keep you updated on how I feel about it. The question is, would I buy it again now? Because when I bought it, Wahoo wasn't out. I don't know. Would I buy it again if it broke? It's a tough one. If you could find a good deal on it, then I would, but I don't think I'd pay $500 for it when the other ones are $250. I think I would give the other ones a go. But yeah, that's not for me to decide. It's for you to decide if you think it's worth the extra cash. If you've used one or if you've got the Wahoo, let me know what you think about both in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, if it's helped you decide whether you're going to buy one or whether you're not, then give me a thumbs up because it does help me. And if you haven't subscribed already, then feel free to do so. You get to see my videos, you get to see my content more, and if you click the notification bell, it will tell you when I am uploading a video or when I've uploaded a video. I generally try and stick to Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5 PM like UK time, so that is when my videos will be on your YouTube page. So I think that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you found it helpful, and I will see you next time. Thank you.